Welcome to the February 2023 episode of the Presale Pulse, a real estate show dedicated to everything happening in real estate across Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley. Now, I'm Ryan Lalonde, and with me today, it's our very own Susana Gonçalves, Chief Real Estate Intelligence Advisor of British Columbia, swooping in with the latest trends and the hottest insights.
That might be a challenge to fit into my business card, but who has business cards now anyways? Today we're filming in one of the beautiful display homes at Bowden by Listor. Bowden is a collection of garden access townhomes conveniently positioned at the corner of Oak and 52nd that are move-in ready this spring. Listor is an established local Vancouver developer of 25 years in the making, with notable projects such as Perrin, Aston, and Flora, all in this very neighborhood. Now, there are a limited number of units available, so if you're interested, reach out to our sales team today.
So Suze, let's talk a little shop. What you got for us? How's the economy doing?
Yeah, well, Ryan, we're fresh off another rate announcement meeting from both the Bank of Canada and the Federal Reserve, so let's start there. On January 28th, the Bank of Canada raised its overnight rate 25 basis points to 4.5%, the 8th consecutive hike since March of last year. Now, while we're all getting a little tired of being punched in the face with these hikes, there was some really promising language tucked away in the following press conference.
What you're hinting at here is, well, I like what you're hinting at. Let's start with that. And could it really be the end? Like, do you think that's possible at this point?
Yeah, I mean, we can't say for sure yet, but Governor Macklem indicated that if the rest of the year develops as expected, the Bank of Canada sees no need for further hikes. Fingers crossed.
Let's go for that. It would be a relief, though, for the housing market. We know that that's had a huge impact on us. Stabilizing rates help both developers and homeowners make far more informed decisions because the risk of all that change that's expected or anticipated somewhat melts away. Now, it's also important to note that economic developments end up surprising on the upside. The bank remains ready to continue with further hikes.
Yeah, now for those who are watching closely and trying to keep ahead of these announcements, we recommend following economic updates and comparing how they relate to the Bank of Canada's forecast. Now, one critical data point will be labor. Unlike the rest of the components of inflation, the labor market has not cooled noticeably and will need to in the coming months.
Yeah, that seems to be one of the hottest topics right now, both in Canada and south of the border. In the US, the Federal Reserve pretty much said as much, Suze, and it feels like they're going to be holding strong on that line. During the meeting in which the Fed followed the BOC with their own 25 basis point increase, Chair Powell repeatedly mentioned jobs data. That's the benchmark that everyone is looking towards. Also indicated the Fed does not expect to cut this year, potentially for the remainder of the year. That was a big surprise to many.
Yeah, it's a fine line we're on because we need a little bit of easing in the labor market, but at the same time, if it's too much, then we could see some concerns with some of these mortgages and some of the homes that people have and whether or not they can hit those payments with the interest rates the way they are. So in a lot of ways, the current climate feels like the market holding its breath, waiting to see how things are going to play out through the year.
Yeah, and I think regardless of how the other shoe drops, Suze, like we're going to be here to break things down for our viewers at every point throughout the year. We're really excited about that. I think we got to start talking some shop with presale.
There were 3 pre-sale programs that had confirmed launches in January. We had South Yards, The Loop, and Lucent. Now, overall, these programs received strong attention. South Yards by Anthem has been marketed heavily as part of Anthem's master plan program and officially began sales in February.
Yeah, we've been hearing a lot through the grapevine on this program. Lots of questions, following it really closely. Should expect to have far more answers by this time next month.
Yeah, now it seems the rumor mill likes to run hotter in a down market than in an elevated one, so we're of course happy to share what we have learned so far. The program is estimated to have sold about 30 to 40% of its inventory, just under $1,250 per square foot. Now this doesn't include the 100-odd units allocated to the one price program, which based on Anthem's pricing is probably closer to $1,230 to $1,240 and is just underway now.
Yeah, big question also on that is that are we talking gross, are we talking net? And that really only matters to some of the development partners that might be reaching out to us after this video. So more to come on that. Also, out of curiosity, now there's a lot of focus on the program over the last 14 days. Where do you think that'll move to over the next 30 to 60?
Yeah, the first wave of concrete launches in 2022 was in West Coquitlam, and I think the first wave in 2023 could be Metrotown, so probably there. We already have Perla by Polygon actively marketing and planning to launch in the coming weeks. Citizen, also by Anthem, has begun taking registrations, and Lettingham McAllister's Riviera, while going quiet after beginning marketing spring of last year, could launch in the coming months if Ledmac feels that the market can handle it.
I mean, there's lots there, Suze. How do you think programs are going to still compete? And especially when you think about Anthem with maybe multiple projects that are all pursuing the same home buyer.
Yeah, no, I have to give the edge to both Perla and Citizen. No hate on Ledmac, but Perla's proximity to Central Park and Citizen's access to the Metrotown SkyTrain station are going to give them a slight advantage in the market. Now, having said that, and I am biased here, but we have continued to hear that our own O2 project continues to be the high bar and nicest product in Burnaby, and I'm not sure Perla or Citizen will quite match up to it. I'm pretty sure they won't have steam showers, for instance, but we'll see.
Good to know. Good plug there as well.
Yeah. I had to.
Last up, what does the next month look like from your perspective when we're talking pre-sales?
Yeah, no, it's all whispers, murmurs, sweet nothings right now, Ryan. Lots of programs that could launch that may launch or may not launch. We're taking bets though. One program we've seen lots of but have heard very little about is Curve by Brivia. They're currently finalizing pricing, and after speaking with the sales manager, it sounds like they'll begin sales in March. Now, this is the first time Baker Real Estate is pushing forward with a program. It's a big deal. Anything less than 50% on launch, and they will be on their heels, I think.
Suze, I got to ask, any thoughts on pricing right now?
The previous site owner needed about $3,000 per square foot. While we don't know what Brivia's requirements are, we don't expect it's going to be too far off of that number.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Suze. Now, it does seem to be the return of high-value downtown product. Anthem's Park is using Lunar New Year to gauge the market and is expected to target around $2,300 per square foot. This would be comparable to 1818. That's Alberni's targeted pricing, but in a tower form.
Yeah, not an easy sale right now.
Now, Suze, let's talk about resale. Now, just over 1,000 homes were sold in January 2023, which is a decrease of 55% compared to January 2022, and a 42% decrease below the 10-year average. That is unbelievable territory.
Yeah, that's the lowest start to the year since 2009, and actually lower than April of 2020 when the whole world was shut down. It's clear that our market continues to be impacted by higher interest rates.
Yet the numbers, they just don't tell the full truth of the story right now. Like, we're absolutely drawing insights from realtors active in key resale markets, and we're actually seeing a return to multiple offers and offers over asking. This is primarily because there's just a significant lack of inventory. Good product is in demand, and it's all about what you're bringing into the market. Timing is secondary if the location and the overall offering is really making sense.
Yeah, right. The good product is still moving. We're seeing something very similar in the pre-sale market. There are deals to be had in this market, people. Get onto it. Developers that were willing to come into the market strong in January and leverage the Lunar New Year has seen solid absorptions. We've seen multiple towers in the Burnaby and Coquitlam market advertise absorbing 20 to 30 and as much as even 80 homes since releasing their incentive programs.
I think what's important to note is that many of the home buyers that typically would have looked after traditional resale purchases have now transitioned into pre-sale, seeing that as a risk, a way to hedge against the risk of interest rates, presumably over the next 12 to 24 months. Now, we've also seen that our client programs, it's been a thrill navigating this market with our development clients. This is a time we can flex our experience and provide return for our services. Markets in Vancouver West and the downtown core that have struggled in the latter half of last year, with the shifts we've seen in the market, have really started to wake up and come alive.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Touching on pricing, benchmark pricing was stable in January, with most product forms seeing a sub-percentage change in benchmark pricing month over month. Now, even with slowed market activity, unless we see a change in seller sentiment and a notable wave of inventory enter the market, we're unlikely to see a significant movement in prices.
You know, what's interesting, one of our competitors had an article recently about the deep freeze in January, and I just can't help but think where, right? I'm thinking about specific markets like Surrey, Coquitlam, and Metrotown. All of them are seeing incredible traction right now. I can't remember the last time that the pre-sale market has felt this active this early in the year.
Yeah, and such a reversal. You know, typically pre-sale is following resale, and in this case, pre-sale's really been leading the way while resale has been struggling.
I think it's also really important to note, though, do we expect that to be sub-market by sub-market basis or just on the aggregate?
Yeah, on the aggregate, some markets will continue to be impacted differently. I think it's safe to say that more established markets like Burnaby, Coquitlam, and pockets of Vancouver will continue to do well. I think there's still an open question for the growing markets, such as Maple Ridge, Port Coquitlam, and markets in the Fraser Valley, given the run-up they had last year.
Yeah, absolutely accurate. Locations that have access to transit and strong built-out amenities are likely to thrive. I think that actually wraps up the real estate portion of Intelligence for this month. That's the last 30 days of real estate in Metro Vancouver. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, The Newswire. It's our daily roundup. In email, the latest real estate news, breaking ground. Our internal and MLA advisory team is also active in all major markets right now, providing actionable intelligence across Canada. So reach out to us using any of the links below.
Yeah, and lastly, hold on to your hats. Real estate enthusiasts, the highly anticipated MLA Intel 2023 report is about to drop, and it's loaded with market insights and trends like you've never seen. You're about to get a VIP front row seat to the future of real estate in BC, and let me tell you, you don't want to miss a single word of this report, packed with the latest data analysis, expert insights, and trends that will shape the industry for the year. Now get ready, it's coming soon, and it's going to be a game changer. Mark your calendars, you don't want to miss this one. Now, thank you to our viewers for tuning in to the Presale Pulse, and we will see you next month.
We'll see you next month.